What's good, YouTube? DM here with Dmgaming, guys. Today, I want to expound a little bit more on the support characters that were revealed yesterday for Dragon Ball Z Kakarot, guys. Before we get into all of that, follow me on the social media platforms listed here. Also, click the subscribe button today. Join the over 9,000 Hype Squad by turning on bell notifications to all notifications, because we even post stuff in the comment section of the thread, guys. So yeah, support characters. So I want to go back here and just kind of review a little bit on what we saw yesterday. Kenzaru translated the V Jump leak, which I don't have the image yet, still hadn't got that. But he did translate it, and it was saying that we had playable characters. Vegeta starting at the Namek arc. Piccolo and Gohan, and then the support characters only Chaozu, Tien, Krillin, and Yamcha. And people were kind of surprised that Krillin was only a support character. And that's kind of what I want to talk about today. But in case you didn't watch the entire video yesterday, guys, there is a slight hint of confirmation that we will be going past the Namek arc. Reason why I know that is if you look by Vegeta's name, Kenzaru translated what was in the V-Jump scan, saying starting Namek arc. Starting Namek arc. That is a clear representation. If I say, if the Namek arc is the last arc, and I say this character will be playable starting at the Namek arc, that means you wouldn't say that. That means that it's going to go, he's going to be playable beyond that. Otherwise, it would just say playable in the Namek arc, or only available in the Namek arc. It doesn't say that. It says starting at the Namek arc. Starting means that there's going to be an end somewhere, and it's not the Namek arc. And playable characters, Gohan, Piccolo, Vegeta here, also confirmed that the game will go beyond the Frieza saga. So you could take this in and of itself as a confirmation that it's not going to end at the Frieza saga, because now that we know we have actual playable characters, especially Gohan and Vegeta, we know that it's going to go beyond the Frieza arc. Also with the support characters, the fact that they're doing this alone tells you the game is going to go beyond that, because there wasn't a lot of, like, Chaozu, Tien, and Yamcha, they were only support against Nappa. You see what I'm saying? It wouldn't make sense to develop this type of ingenuity into the game if it was just going to be used one time. You get what I'm saying? Because they weren't there against the fight with Frieza. Now, what I am wondering is, are you going to, well, no, because they would have to be primary characters. Piccolo was a primary character in the fight against the Ginyu Force when they were training on King Kai's planet, but I digress. Don't want to get too far off topic here. So this in and of itself confirms that the game will go beyond the Frieza saga, which we've already speculated that anyway. We still don't have official confirmation from Bandai Namco, but if you're really looking at confirmation, guys, this list of playable and support characters confirms that the game is going to go beyond the Frieza saga. Because, like I said, they wouldn't do this much in depth if the game was just, if the support characters are only going to be used one time. You see what I'm saying? And the fact that we know there are going to be other playable characters, we know that now it is purely open that you'll be able to fight against, Cell with Gohan and things like that. But what I want to talk about is more or less Krillin and why he is only a support character, because the rest of them we don't really argue, Chaozu, Tien, Yamcha, only being support characters. But Krillin was a bit of a surprise to some people. Now, like I said in yesterday's video, if this game was just Dragon Ball based, we see here with him in front of Dodoria, which means that, guys, for those of you who said also that was a confirmation of other playable characters, you were right. I mean, it did end up being a confirmation that we would get to play with other characters. Me, I'm just that type of person, is I like to hear it from Bandai's mouth. I mean, we already speculated that there would be other playable characters via DLC or somewhat in the game. We also, because we've done a video on that, you can go back and watch it. We've also, speculated about the sagas going past the Frieza saga and things like that. But it still feels nothing like that satisfaction of actually hearing them say it. So we do see here, it's going to be pretty in-depth on Namek. Gohan, of course, being the main character and things like that. And that's just so awesome, man. It's so awesome to see these things and hear these things. But people wonder, why Krillin is just support? Well, if you look back in the anime, if you look back in Dragon Ball, Krillin could very well be a main character, a playable character. But in Dragon Ball Z, Krillin took a very big back seat. But I will say this, out of these support characters, Krillin is the closest to being a playable character. He is one of the most important support characters, in my opinion, as well, because he's played a major role throughout the series, including his death causing Goku to go over the edge and become Super Saiyajin Goku, Son Goku. You know what I'm saying? But and even on Namek with Gohan, Krillin was monumental in that. He did do some fighting, but Krillin never had a major fight. Whereas Gohan, even against Gohan was, to me, more of a major character than Krillin was, because of course, and I'm not even talking about Cell, I'm just talking about from Raditz up until the end of the Frieza saga. Gohan, you know, with his latent abilities and things like that, which is also interesting because Krillin had his latent abilities unlocked as well. But y'all, Krillin didn't have a major fight. Krillin didn't have any kind of one-on-one fights in a sense. You know, Gohan had some fights here and there. He had some scuffles. The main reason I feel Gohan is a playable character after Raditz dies is because him and Piccolo, you know, the anime was focused on him and Piccolo's training. Even Gohan befriending an android that ends up dying in a sense, and I think that's a kind of an homage, you know, once we get to the Cell saga with Android 16 dying, because both of them were lovers of animals and things like that, guys. But I'm not trying to get into the lore just yet, but I digress. But anyway, Gohan and Piccolo training was monumental. It was a major part of the anime. And then, you know, will you say, well, Krillin them was training too? Yes, but their training wasn't nearly as documented as Gohan and Piccolo's. You see what I'm saying? Also, Gohan was stronger than Krillin, actually. And I think that has something to do with it as well. And, you know, they did play a major role against the fight against Vegeta as well. And then on Namek, Gohan, you know, it was just more Gohan than Krillin. Let's just leave it at that. Now, Krillin is super fun character to play with. I would have been okay with Krillin being a playable character, but it doesn't bother me that he's not. For instance, if you go into like Raging Blast 1, where you actually play through each character story mode, or even Budokai 3, Krillin's story mode is not that long. Krillin doesn't do much. Gohan's is much longer. You know, Gohan even goes up into an adult stage. So if this game goes to the Majin Buu saga, it makes even more sense to develop Gohan as a playable character, because you'll have him through Raditz, you'll have him through Nappa and Vegeta, through Frieza, through the androids, through Cell, which is pinnacle of him. And then after that, with the Majin Buu saga, it makes perfect sense to make him a playable character. Whereas Krillin really kind of fell off a lot. You know, it makes sense when you watch the anime, and if you understand Dragon Ball, it makes pure sense that Krillin is a playable character. The reason, I mean, he's a support character only, because there's just not enough things that Krillin done that would merit you actually having to do missions and things of that effect. So people may ask the question, when will these characters be playable? Well, they are already telling you that Vegeta will be playable starting at the Namek arc. Piccolo will be playable more than likely from the start of the game. I imagine you would obtain Piccolo as a partner or as a playable character after your training session, or you know, maybe, you know, the fight with Goku and Piccolo that we see in the first trailer, maybe that is an homage, or, you know, some kind of opening trailer training tutorial thing like for the game. And once we see that, then, you know, after that, perhaps Piccolo becomes a part of your roster. Gohan, on the other hand, probably not going to be a playable character until after you defeat Raditz and actually rescue Gohan, or in a sense, because Gohan didn't do anything prior to Raditz coming. I mean, he was there with Goku at the beginning, yes, but he wasn't a playable character. And if you go back to the gameplay, remember what I told you, you're only going to be able to have 3 total playable characters or support characters in a sense in the game. Now, that's another thing how this is going to work out. Could you have 3 playable characters at once? No. What it means, yeah, I'll say yes and no. Okay, so for instance, in the gameplay where we have Goku and Piccolo together, you could switch them out to where Piccolo is the playable character, and I'm assuming that would automatically make Goku the support character in that sense. But, you know, you couldn't make, if you had Tien, Chaozu, Krillin, and Yamcha, you couldn't make them, you couldn't control them and fly around the map as them. That's the difference between the support only and the playable characters. So that's why you see in the gameplay where it says as Goku, do this, you could switch to Piccolo and do some things as well. And then of course after Raditz dies, Piccolo or Gohan is your playable character. You can switch between the two. And what I'm assuming is that when you go to the map screen and go to other worlds, you could actually go to King Kai's planet and pick up other story missions as Goku. And that's how RPGs tend to work. There's more than one playable main mission in a sense. You have a lot of side missions and a lot of main missions as well. So it's going to be interesting how they work that out. I'm hoping that you can kind of do the two simultaneously and stuff. It is super exciting to see more information coming out about this game. I don't think we'll hear anything about this game at Comic-Con. I think they're going to wait till Gamescom at the end of August, because Comic-Con is generally more like a meet and greet kind of thing. It's not so much showing off new things, but they are going to release a One Piece trailer, so there is a possibility we could hear something about the game, especially with V-Jump being leaked and stuff like that coming out. So guys, that's all I have for right now. We're going to go deeper into this because there's a lot more that I want to talk about with the playable characters and things of that nature that I'd be sitting here 20, 25, 30 minutes talking about. So let me know what y'all think down in the comment section down below. I know how some of y'all feel about Krillin, but how do y'all feel about Krillin being only a support character and things like that? Till next time, guys, thanks for watching. Peace.